Salutations from Wizard Studios. I am the Wizard. This is the Paul Felder versus Dan Hooker Fight Night post-fight breakdown. Here we go. So, Paul Felder versus Dan Hooker just got done, guys, and I'm going to go through that card one at a time, and here it is. Paul Felder, I thought that this fight was a draw. I really did. And I really don't know how you could score it otherwise, because it was just that close. It was that close. So when you go through it, Dan Hooker was keeping the range in the first two rounds, really piecing up Paul Felder. Alright, but he was coming back. Paul Felder came back. That third round was very close. Paul Felder, I thought, landed the more significant strikes in that third round. But Dan Hooker, I thought, now, I will say this. I've only seen the fight once. But with only seeing it one time, I thought Paul Felder landed the more significant strikes, and Dan Hooker landed more of the strikes. Now, with that being said, the fourth and the fifth rounds, I thought Paul Felder clearly won. Dan Hooker got the takedown in the fifth round, did nothing with it. Paul Felder got back up. After that, the fight was over. Now, we go back and we look at the fight. Who did more damage? I thought Paul Felder clearly did more damage. He looked like he took more damage than Dan Hooker, but because Paul Felder is a red-headed Irish dude, that means he bruises easily. He can't help that, folks. He cannot help that. And when the judges, I feel like this. I do not know if this is true. This is just how I feel sometimes. So when the judges, they see a guy that looks like he has taken more damage, even though he may not have taken more damage, I feel like that may work against that fighter sometimes. And I think we may have seen that this fight. I'm not saying that we did, because the fight was that close. But we may have. Like I said, I thought it was a draw. So nobody got robbed. No one got robbed here. But, you know. And Paul Felder retiring after the fight, he took so long to get to that spot, alright? He took so long to get to that spot. He gets there, and it's a huge blow. It's a huge blow. No one knows what that feels like besides Paul Felder in that moment. At that time. So, do I think Paul Felder will fight again? At this moment, I really don't know. I really don't know. Do I want to see him fight again? Yes. Yes. He's an excellent fighter. He's an exciting fighter. Every time he fights, he's in a war. It's a fan-friendly fight. So, we all want to see Paul Felder keep fighting. So let's hope he keeps on fighting. What do I think is next for Dan Hooker? I believe Dan Hooker, he calls out Justin Gaethje. I don't know if Justin Gaethje will take that fight. Justin Gaethje seems like he wants to wait for a title fight. If Justin Gaethje wants to wait for a title fight, it could be a long wait. So, Gaethje may take that fight, but he may not. If Gaethje doesn't take that fight, I know that Al Iaquinta and Dustin Poirier are going back and forth, back and forth. I love the Dustin Poirier Dan Hooker fight. I love the Dustin Poirier Dan Hooker fight. That's a great matchup. That's a great matchup. If Paul Felder does not retire, Raging Al Iaquinta, I believe that would be great. I mean, that's the ultimate matchup right there. Jimmy Crute takes care of business. I had a strong feeling he would. It's so hard to go undefeated in mixed martial arts. As fans of the sport, we all see that. Now, Jimmy Crute comes in here. I had a strong feeling he would come in here and handle his business, like I said. So he comes in here. I thought he would get it done on the feet. He shows how good of a mixed martial artist he is. So he comes in and puts on his grappling performance. He comes in and puts on his grappling performance in style. Absolutely outstanding. Completely dominates the fight and gets the W. That's exactly what I expected. Excellent performance by Jimmy Crute. He thinks he needs another fight before Misha Cirkunov. I say no. I say no. I believe Jimmy Crute should go next to Misha Cirkunov. That's what I believe should be next for Jimmy Crute. Next up, we have Carolina versus Yan. Zion Yan is an outstanding fighter. I told everyone this going into this fight. I told everyone about this. I told everyone also that my heart was with Carolina. I wanted to see her perform well because of how she just has not been performing well, let's be honest. She's been on a skid. I was sad to see that skid continue. I was also happy to see how well Yan performed. She is an outstanding fighter. She dominated the fight in every aspect. I thought that if Carolina got the fight to the clinch or to the ground, she would have an advantage. I was wrong. Yan was prepared for every aspect of this fight. I was happy to see that. I believe that if Yan had the opportunity before Zhang Weili, she could have perhaps, I'm not sure, maybe, perhaps, been champion before her. But we'll never know that, will we? I'm saying she is just as talented as Zhang Weili. She is just as talented as Zhang Weili, if not more. She is that good, guys. She is that good. That is what I believe. That is what the Wizard believes. And she proved that this night. She proved that this night. And I believe she'll continue to prove it. She beat Carolina from pillar to post. And that's hard to do. And I know Carolina's on a downward slide. Carolina was so emotional she was crying on the way to the octagon. She wanted to win that fight. And there was no possible way she could. That is how good Yan is. Next up, Ben Sassoli, Combat Wombat versus Marcus Rogerio de Lima. I knew this was going to be a quick knockout. The Combat Wombat is tough as nails, guys. The Combat Wombat was going in fearlessly and got knocked out. We knew this was going to happen. I knew this was going to happen because of the power that de Lima carries, okay? The de Lima comes in there just... The Combat Wombat has had a tough go of it, okay? And his tough go continues. But de Lima has skills. It's time that de Lima's skills get noticed. I believe de Lima should get a test that gets him noticed. I believe de Lima's next fight should be against Andre the Pitbull Arlovski, okay? De Lima's next fight should be against Andre Arlovski. He needs to get some recognition because his striking is on another level and he carries power. After that, he will get some recognition. And last but not least, Brad Riddell against Magomed Mustafayev. I knew this would be a killer fight. Brad Riddell is absolutely outstanding. And Magomed Mustafayev is seriously underrated. I mean, this was a grappler versus striker, but that's really not what it was it? Because Magomed, he can strike too. He was throwing strikes. He was trying to grapple. He was doing everything he could to keep Brad Riddell at bay, and it just would not work. Brad Riddell was throwing everything in the kitchen sink at Magomed and landing. And he did not go out. He hit Magomed with everything in the kitchen sink. And he was still there at the end of the fight. It was absolutely amazing. And then this is Kevin Lee. This dude is awesome on the mic. I mean, how many stars are going to end up being out of city kickboxing? Their whole gym might as well be a star. And then calls out Alexander Hernandez after that. Great work, Brad Riddell. Great work. Bang energy drinks in the link below. Also, All-American Hemp CBD gummies in the link below. Like and subscribe for more MMA content, guys, and we will see you later in the week.